You've been carrying a weight that isn't yours to bear. It's the burden of trying to shape a world that resists your hands, the frustration of unmet expectations, the anxiety of uncertain futures, the restless desire to bend outcomes to your will. This struggle feels so deeply human because it is. You are not alone in this. Every heart has wrestled with the impulse to control what lies beyond reach. But what if the very act of holding on so tightly is the source of your unrest? What if peace is not found by changing the world around you, but by changing the way you relate to it? This is the quiet, revolutionary insight at the heart of Stoic wisdom. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves rise and fall, indifferent to your wishes. You cannot command the tides, nor can you halt the storms. Yet, you can choose how to stand in the face of this great, restless sea. To grasp at the water as if to hold it will only lead to exhaustion and despair. But to open your hands, to let the waves flow through, is to find a kind of freedom. Letting go, that phrase carries with it the weight of surrender, but in the Stoic sense, it is far from defeat. It is an act of profound empowerment. When you release what is beyond your influence, you reclaim the space within yourself. Here lies a sanctuary untouched by chaos, a refuge where your spirit can breathe freely. You've been holding on to what you cannot change for too long. The opinions of others, the unpredictability of fate, the memories that haunt your mind. These are not yours to command. Yet, they often dictate your peace, like invisible chains tightening around your heart. Because the moment you release what's beyond your grasp, you find true tranquility. This is not a passive resignation to life's hardships, but an active embracing of what is. It is the recognition that your power lies not in controlling external events, but in mastering your response to them. Some things are up to us, and some are not up to us, Epictetus teaches. This simple but profound distinction is the foundation of Stoic resilience. What belongs to you absolutely is the domain of your own thoughts, your judgments, your intentions, and your actions. Everything else, the behavior of others, the unfolding of circumstances, the turns of fortune, lies outside your providence. Consider how much of your daily turmoil stems from trying to steer those uncontrollable currents. You fret over conversations you cannot rewrite, outcomes you cannot predict, and forces you cannot halt. This misplacement of effort drains your energy and dims your clarity. But when you turn your gaze inward, focusing instead on what you can shape, your mind, your choices, you reclaim your agency. You become the captain of your own ship, steering through the tempests with steady hands and an unshakable resolve. The Stoics invite you to practice this liberating shift every day. To ask yourself, what is truly within my control? When you recognize the boundary between your influence and the world's vast beyond, you gain a compass for navigating life's uncertainties. This is not about detachment or cold indifference. It is about discerning the difference between engagement and entanglement. You can care deeply, act wisely, and strive earnestly without being ensnared by outcomes that slip through your fingers. Because peace is not found in the tempest's quelling, but in the stillness of your own mind. It arises when you stop wrestling with the uncontrollable and instead cultivate a serene acceptance. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means freeing yourself from needless turmoil. You've felt it before. The restless turning of thoughts, the tightening in your chest when events spiral beyond your command. The moment you pause, breathe, and remind yourself where your power truly lies, a wave of calm can wash over you. This is the beginning of your Stoic journey, the art of releasing what you cannot control and embracing what you can. It is the path to inner freedom, where your spirit is unburdened by external chaos. As you walk this path, remember that letting go is an act of courage. It requires a steady heart to loosen the grip on familiar anxieties and a clear mind to choose where to invest your energy. But the reward is profound, a peace that no storm can shake. So, when you find yourself caught in the grip of frustration or fear, ask yourself quietly, is this within my control? If it is not, practice the gentle art of release. Let the waves pass through your hands without resistance, and stand firm in the knowledge that your true power lies within. This is the Stoic promise. By changing your relationship to the uncontrollable, you transform your entire experience of life. The burden lifts, your mind clears, and you find a deep well of tranquility waiting inside. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." This freedom is not a distant ideal, but a present possibility, accessible in each moment you choose to let go. You are not powerless, even when faced with the vast unknown. You hold the key to peace in your own hands, through the discipline of acceptance and the courage to release. Let this understanding settle within you like a gentle tide, reshaping your perspective and calming the restless sea of your mind. Here begins the art of living well, not by demanding the world conform to your desires, but by mastering your own soul. Because when you surrender control over the uncontrollable, your spirit becomes unburdened. You step into a space of equanimity, where peace is not a prize to be won, but a state to be embraced. And so, the journey starts, not with grand changes, but with a simple choice, to focus on what you can control, to let go of the rest, and to find your peace in that wisdom. Now, let us look deeper into this crucial divide between what you can control and what you cannot. It is the foundation of Stoic thought, a beacon that guides you through the fog of confusion and frustration. Epictetus, a master of this wisdom, posed a simple but penetrating question: what belongs to you and what does not? This question invites you to examine your experience with clarity and honesty. What truly lies within your power? Your own thoughts, your judgments, your desires, your choices, these are yours alone. No one can take them from you. They are the fertile ground where your freedom grows. Everything else, the opinions of others, the unpredictable twists of fate, the past events that shaped you, the health of your body, the weather outside your window, these are beyond your command. To wish otherwise is to reach for shadows, to chase illusions that only breed frustration. Think about how often your mind is consumed by things outside your control. You replay conversations, worry over outcomes, fret about others' reactions. Yet, none of these are entirely yours to govern. The Stoics call this the dichotomy of control, the clear-cut distinction between what is within your grasp and what is beyond it. This is more than just a philosophical concept. It is a practical tool for living. When you focus your energy solely on what you can influence, your thoughts, your actions, your responses, you cultivate a realm of genuine power. It is like tending a garden within yourself, rather than trying to command the weather. You might wonder, what about the things that seem so crucial? The health of a loved one, the success of a project, the state of the world? These feel so vital, so personal. Yet even here, the Stoic challenge is to accept their unpredictability with grace, while directing your efforts to your own conduct and attitude. Epictetus reminds us, there are things which are within our power, and there are things which are beyond our power. This is not a call to passivity, but to wise focus. You cannot control the hand you are dealt, but you control how you play it. Modern life often obscures this simple truth. We become obsessed with external validation, consumed by social media narratives, and anxious about events we cannot influence. This misalignment between desire and reality is the root of much suffering. Imagine the relief that comes from shifting your attention inward, to the sphere where your power is absolute. Here, your judgments, your decisions, your effort, these are yours to command. They are your true possessions, unassailable and free. Consider the common misconception that control over others' opinions or external events can be attained. How often do you find yourself stuck in frustration because someone else refuses to see things your way, or because circumstances unfold contrary to your wishes? Stoicism teaches that such efforts are not only futile, but harmful. They drain your vitality and cloud your mind. Instead, the path to peace lies in recognizing the limits of your control and embracing the freedom found within those boundaries. This insight invites a radical reorientation. Rather than struggling against the tides of fate, you learn to steer your own vessel with skill and calm. You accept that the sea is vast and unpredictable, but your helm is steady and true. The Stoics do not ask you to detach from life or become indifferent. On the contrary, they encourage full engagement with the world, tempered by the wisdom of discernment. You act with purpose and integrity, but without the chains of attachment to results beyond your sway. In practical terms, this means focusing on your own reasoning and choices. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, what part of this is mine to control? Often, it is your attitude, your effort, your willingness to persevere. By narrowing your concern to these elements, you conserve precious energy and foster resilience. You become less vulnerable to external upheavals that once left you shaken. Epictetus's guidance is clear. Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This is not resignation, but a call to excellence within your sphere. It is the discipline of directing your will where it matters most. This focus on internal mastery over external circumstances transforms your experience. Anxiety diminishes because you no longer expend it on the uncontrollable. Frustration fades because you accept what cannot be changed. You reclaim your serenity by cultivating your own mind, your judgments, your values, your responses. This inner domain is your sanctuary, impervious to the storms of chance and other people's actions. To live according to this principle is to live with clarity and peace. It is to know where your true power lies and to invest there fully. Imagine your life as a garden. You cannot command the rain or the seasons, but you can tend your soil, plant seeds, and nurture growth. This is the realm of your control, your thoughts, your choices, your actions. By focusing on this garden, you flourish, regardless of the weather. You become resilient and wise, rooted in what is yours to steward. This distinction also frees you from needless blame and regret. You learn to forgive yourself and others for what lies beyond control, understanding that these are forces of nature, not failures of will. Epictetus's teaching is a timeless reminder. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because your concern is not with others' judgments, but with your own reasoned choice. The power of this wisdom lies in its simplicity and depth. It invites you to step back from the chaos of external events and to anchor yourself in the steady ground of your own mind. Here, you find the clarity to act wisely, the strength to endure hardship, and the peace to accept what cannot be changed. So, as you move forward, remember to distinguish what is truly yours from what is not. Focus your heart and mind on what you can control, your thoughts, your intentions, your actions. Let go of the rest. This is the path to liberation, the secret of Stoic resilience. The question Epictetus asks remains ever vital. Is it in my power or not? When you answer honestly, you unlock the door to freedom from turmoil. In this practice, you become the architect of your own peace, shaping your inner world even as the outer world shifts beyond your control. This is not just philosophy. It is a daily discipline, a way of living that brings you closer to the calm and strength you seek. Embrace it, and watch as your life aligns more closely with your true power, the power of your own reasoned will. Your mind is the sovereign realm where peace is won or lost. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, understood this deeply. He observed that attachment to external events is the root of much of our suffering, a clinging that binds us to disappointment and distress. When you grasp tightly to outcomes beyond your control, you invite a double suffering. First, the pain of the event itself, a loss, a failure, a change you did not want. Then, the pain of resistance, the bitter refusal to accept what has happened. This second wound cuts deeper because it is self-inflicted. Imagine standing in a storm, trying with all your might to hold back the wind and rain. The more you fight, the more exhausted you become. But if you relax your grip and move with the storm, you suffer far less. The storm still rages, but your spirit remains unbroken. This is the essence of the Stoic practice. Freedom comes not from controlling the external world, but from mastering your inner response to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Attachment to what you cannot command narrows your freedom. It binds you to the unpredictable tides of fortune, making your happiness contingent on factors beyond your reach. This is a fragile foundation on which to build your life. Yet, when you loosen this grip, you open yourself to a greater liberty. You learn to embrace life as it flows, in all its uncertainty and change. Acceptance becomes a shield that protects your peace from the slings and arrows of misfortune. To cling is to imprison yourself. To accept is to set your spirit free. This is not weakness, but strength. the strength to live fully without being enslaved by outcomes. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the mind is powerful. It can be a citadel of calm or a battlefield of turmoil. The choice lies within you. By training your mind to accept what comes, you cultivate an inner fortress that no external event can breach. This discipline is challenging. It calls for vigilance and practice. The mind naturally rebels against change and loss. But each moment you choose acceptance over resistance, you grow stronger. Consider how much suffering arises from your attachments. The desire for approval, for security, for control. These bind you to expectations that the world cannot guarantee. When reality diverges from these hopes, pain follows. But what if you could loosen those attachments? What if you saw them as preferences, not necessities? This shift does not diminish your engagement with life. Rather, it frees you to experience life more fully, without the weight of desperate grasping. Attachment narrows your vision, making you see obstacles where there are only challenges, threats where there are opportunities. Acceptance expands your perspective, allowing you to flow with life's currents rather than fight against them. The Stoics teach that suffering is not caused by events themselves, but by your judgment of them. This is a profound insight. Your mind frames your experience. Change the frame, and the picture changes. You might recall moments when a setback felt unbearable, yet later, with time and reflection, it lost its sting. This is because your mind has the power to reinterpret and release the pain. Imagine your attachments as chains you hold in your hands. The harder you cling, the heavier they feel. But if you open your hands and let them fall, you feel a sudden lightness, a liberation. This is the path to true freedom, to live without desperate attachment to externals, while fully embracing your own role in life. You act with integrity and care, but you do not suffer if things go awry. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He reminded himself that external events are indifferent, neither good nor bad in themselves. It is his response that colors them. This mindset allowed him to bear immense responsibility and hardship with grace. When you practice acceptance, you also cultivate compassion for yourself and for others. You see that everyone is subject to forces beyond their control. This awareness softens judgment and fosters understanding. Attachment breeds judgment and blame. Acceptance fosters peace and empathy. This is a choice you make each day, moment by moment. To embrace acceptance is to avoid the double suffering that so often traps us. You suffer the pain of loss or disappointment once, not twice. You conserve your energy for what truly matters, living in accordance with your values and reason. This is not a call to numbness or apathy. Rather, it is an invitation to engage with life's challenges without being undone by them. You become like a tree bending in the wind, flexible, rooted, resilient. The Stoic mind sees external events as neither friend nor foe. They simply are. Your role is not to resist, but to respond wisely. This understanding brings peace. It frees your mind from the turmoil of clinging and opens space for calm and clarity. So when you feel the urge to grasp tightly at outcomes, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I holding on to what I cannot control? Is this attachment bringing me peace or pain? In that moment, choose acceptance. Choose to loosen your grip and let the waves pass through. You will find that your spirit is lighter, your mind clearer, and your heart more open. This is the strength of the Stoic way, the courage to face life's uncertainties with a calm and steady mind, free from the chains of attachment. And in that freedom, you discover a wellspring of peace that no storm can diminish. Surrender is often misunderstood. It carries the weight of defeat in the modern mind, a sign of weakness or giving up. But the Stoics teach us a different story, that surrender is an act of wisdom, an acceptance that frees the soul rather than shackles it. Epictetus offers a powerful metaphor. Life is like a theatrical performance. You do not control the script or the stage, but you are charged with playing your role well. Surrender, then, is not abandoning the play but embracing your part fully, with grace and dignity. Imagine a skilled actor on stage. The scenery changes, the plot twists unexpectedly, yet the actor remains steady, adapting to each moment with poise. This is the Stoic ideal, to meet life's surprises not with resistance, but with resilience. Surrender is an act of choice. It is not passivity but engagement grounded in acceptance. When you surrender control over what you cannot command, you open space for clarity and strength to arise. You cultivate resilience by trusting your capacity to face whatever life brings. This trust is not blind optimism, but a deep confidence in your own reason and character. There is liberation in letting go of the illusion that you can bend all things to your will. This liberation lightens the spirit, releasing you from the exhausting battle against the uncontrollable. The Stoics encourage you to anchor yourself in the present moment. Mindfulness is not a modern invention, but an ancient discipline. To be fully present is to inhabit your experience without distraction or judgment. When storms arise, external chaos or inner turmoil, your practice is to return to the here and now. The past is gone, the future uncertain, but this moment is yours to meet with calm awareness. This presence allows you to respond rather than react, to choose your path with intention rather than be swept away by impulse. Surrender and presence together form the backbone of Stoic tranquility. You surrender what lies beyond your power and fully embrace what is before you. This discipline requires courage. The mind often rebels against acceptance, craving certainty and control. But each time you practice surrender, you strengthen your ability to live with equanimity. Imagine a leaf floating on a river. It cannot command the current, yet it moves gracefully, adapting to the flow without resistance. This is the image of the Stoic who surrenders wisely. Surrendering does not mean indifference. It means caring deeply while recognizing the limits of your influence. You engage with life's challenges wholeheartedly, yet without the torment of futile struggle. This balance is delicate but vital. It frees you from the exhausting cycle of resistance and regret. The Stoic discipline of presence also sharpens your awareness of what truly matters. When you stop chasing after uncontrollable outcomes, you see more clearly where your efforts make a difference. Your attention shifts from the chaotic outside world to the steady inner life of your mind and character. This shift is not a retreat, but an advance, a movement toward freedom and peace. By surrendering control over the uncontrollable and anchoring yourself in the present, you cultivate a resilient spirit. Your mind becomes a refuge amid uncertainty. Epictetus reminds us that the wise person does not seek to have events happen as they wish, but wishes events to happen as they do happen. This is the heart of surrender, a willing acceptance of reality, free from resistance or complaint. In this acceptance, you find strength, a strength that carries you through hardship without breaking. Surrender is the path to wisdom because it aligns you with the natural flow of life. It frees you from the futile struggle against what is inevitable. When you practice surrender, you cultivate an inner calm that no external storm can disturb. This calm is not a passive state, but a dynamic presence, ready to meet whatever comes with clarity and courage. So, when you feel overwhelmed by forces beyond your control, remember the actor on the stage. Play your role well, surrendering to the flow of life without losing yourself. Anchor yourself in the present moment, where your power truly lies. And in this practice, discover the profound peace that comes from surrender, a peace that liberates your spirit and steadies your mind. Choosing to let go is choosing peace. It is a deliberate act of aligning yourself with reality as it is, rather than as you wish it to be. This alignment brings a harmony that resonates deeply within, quieting the restless turmoil of futile control. Seneca, another wise Stoic, reminds us that difficulty shows what men are. Adversity is not merely an obstacle, but a teacher, offering the chance to cultivate strength and wisdom. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to practice letting go, to convert hardship into growth. When you embrace this mindset, you learn to welcome life's trials as part of the natural order. You do not resist what comes nor despair when things fall apart. Instead, you lean into the experience, knowing that your true power lies in how you respond. Focus your energy on what truly belongs to you, your thoughts, your intentions, your actions. These are the fertile soil where your freedom grows. The world outside will always be unpredictable, but your inner domain remains steadfast and within your command. By directing your efforts here, you cultivate a lasting calm and clarity. This is the essence of Stoic practice, a daily commitment to mastering yourself rather than the uncontrollable. Imagine your mind as a still lake. When you stop throwing stones of worry and resistance, the surface smooths. Reflection returns. Peace settles. The choice to let go is not weakness, but strength. It is a conscious refusal to be tossed about by every wave of circumstance. Instead, you anchor yourself in wisdom and acceptance. This discipline transforms your experience of life. You become less reactive and more composed, less anxious and more resilient. The Stoics teach that happiness is not found in external goods or outcomes, but in virtue, the excellence of your character and the harmony of your soul. Letting go is a vital step on this path. It frees you to live according to reason, to act with integrity, and to meet whatever comes with equanimity. So, as you move forward, remember to choose peace over control. Release what lies beyond your power and embrace what lies within. In this choice, you discover the true art of living well, a life marked by freedom, resilience, and profound tranquility.